All right. And Dad he'd been over this whole front field once, and he's probably a third of the way through the second pass when we quit last night. Nothing done out back yet, but I am going to get our first pass finished up on the front field, and then Dad was busy this morning, and this afternoon he was gonna come over and start running finisher on the back. I already pulled the bean wagon over here, but when I get down up front here, I might make a couple rounds around the outside of the back just to see how that ground looks, because that's where the worst wet spots are. And since Dad doesn't necessarily know where they're at, if I can go 2-3 rounds around the outside, that'll give you a pretty good indicator of what the whole field's going to be like, because that's where, ironically, where the worst everything is around the outside. But yeah, once I get done with that, which shouldn't be much more than a couple hours here, then I will go get the 66 and drill and start planting up front here, and Dad's gonna take over running finisher in the back. Still have chances of rain this afternoon, and I guarantee you that it is gonna rain this afternoon, because everybody and their brother yesterday, for some reason, even with rain in the forecast, was cutting hay. So, you know, you cut hay, it's gonna rain. So it's definitely for sure gonna rain tonight, or this afternoon, this evening, whatever. She needs a little bit. Hopefully I got enough. Alright, dang, them windows are dirty. I'm gonna get this thing warming up, and I'm gonna wipe windows off, but naturally I only had like a quart of 1540 at my house left in a jug, and that wasn't enough, so I had to go to Mom and Dad's and get more. But anyhow, yeah, I didn't realize them windows were that scuzzy, so let me wipe them off real quick. Alright, that's more better. Dad said he was running in fourth, so back there, but still. He does good for a little baby four-wheel drive. Definitely allowed me to do a lot more than I ever would have been able to without it. Front feel's done. That worked down really nice. So I'm gonna make a few 2-3 rounds around the outside of this piece just to test the waters, and then we'll go get the 66 in the drill and get after it. 3 rounds around the outside. I was not expecting, there's a great big wet hole that always shows up about 3/4 of the way down, and it goes way out into the field. I didn't expect to be able to make it through that, but it was tacky, but it pulled through. I never spun. It was wet, but should be able to plant through it. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to handle this. It clouded up there for a while, and then the sun came back out. It's raining pretty good over on the other side of the lake. I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle this. I don't know if I have Dad come over and keep finishing, or if I have him just put the mulcher behind the 55, and when I get far enough ahead, have him start rolling, and then depending on how much rain we get, just get back on that in the morning. I don't know. Because I don't know if that's going to end up needing work. I think part of that will probably need worked twice. I think from the edge of the waterway over will be fine, because that's mostly sand, or sandier, sandy silt kind of. But you get over on the hills and there's more clay, so I don't know how well that's, because this is the heavier ground on this farm is the front of it. So might not need to work it twice, might need to work it twice, I don't know. My other option, I don't know what she's got going on today, but get to 55 and the mulcher over here, and then have Shelly run that, because that'd be a good job for her. Just back and forth wide open, nothing to go around, nothing to hit, to get her some seat time. And then Dad can keep running finisher. I don't know what my best option is. Regardless, I'd like to have this rolled just in case it rains. That way it seals that moisture and we don't got to worry about losing it. Because while we got plenty of ground moisture, I'd still rather have a little bit of rain on it to get it going. And then once it's going, it can get its roots down and start taking up that ground moisture that's still quite a bit there. So we'll see what I come up with here. Alright, so we have our plan. Dad had a small job he was working on, and then when he got done, well, come on, damn you. When he got done with that, he was gonna head this way with the 1955 and the mulcher, by which point I should be far enough ahead-ish that Shelly's gonna come over and run that. Like I say, that's gonna be a good job for her to get some seat time, because that's nice, easy. Don't gotta worry about anything plugging up or anything. Tractor's not working all that hard, you're just cruising along, so that's a good way for her to learn. And then Dad is going to keep running finisher. They're calling for rain after 4 now, but you look on the radar, I mean, it's not, there's a big cell that's way north of here. And it looks like everything that's going to come this way, I mean, it's just really sparse, unless it's going to blow up, but I mean, it's gonna have to do a lot of blowing up. We might get some sprinkles out of it, but it doesn't look like it's gonna amount to much, which I'm not complaining. Even if it shuts us down for the afternoon, the way it's looking, we should have no problem being going again by 10, 11 tomorrow if the sun comes out like it's supposed to. So anyhow, and naturally my acre counter, the screw stripped out again. So the screw and the drive on this were both kind of when I found them at the junkyard. I need to get the part numbers around and see if I can find two NOS that are full size, full depth teeth and put on it. But I guess there's enough in here to get going. So I might have to break into the 16 bags of untreated beans I got when I get back there, but there should be enough. There better be enough for me to get this done and start back there anyhow. So, but let's roll. been running in 5th gear, so over and up. I think Dad was running in 5th over. I usually run in 5th direct, so that's the throttle. That's the 3-speed. It's basically the same as the 1950T, it's just the levers are here instead of here. And then that lever, and this one's got detented hydraulics, so all you got to do is push the lever back. And it kicks itself out, and then you put it down and it kicks itself out, so you don't have to hold the lever. Went up through neutral.
Oh.
Do I need to move that seat forward for you?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm short.
Alright, you can let the clutch out. Get over there for a minute. Clutch in for a minute, let it quit coasting. That's the first time she's been on that one. She's been on the 1950T, which is basically the same dang thing, but different. I'll walk up here and see how she does real quick. She was here like 45 minutes ago, but there were these idiots that were supposed to be over at the house to get straw about 11 o'clock, or well, they said between 11 and noon, and they didn't show up, didn't text her back, and then she got here, it must have been 2:30 or so, and they texted her and said they'd be there in 15 minutes. Actually, it was probably closer to 2 o'clock, because she's been gone for at least an hour, because I was just getting into the long rows when she left the first time, and now I'm almost done. But and this is why I hate dealing with people, but she got here and they texted her, said they'd be there in 15 minutes, and then they got her, so she turned around, got back in the truck and left before she even got on the tractor. And I guess it took them like 35 minutes to get there, and I don't know. Sometimes dealing with people on straw is a royal pain in the you know what. Dad's back on the finisher. Same thing, she showed up the first time and he saw her, so he parked the 19 and jumped in the 4-150, and he took off, and then she turned around and took off. So he made about 3 rounds and then came back and got back on the 1955 because we want to have this rolled. I guess the one thing I need to warn her is to not cut it too short, because you can get the hitch braces that go out to the corners of the mulcher. You can catch those in the lugs of the tires, and they'll give you quite a scare. Wonder if he's stopping for fuel. I told him there was some in the truck. And she's overlapping a wee bit. It is hard because the tracks from that thing are really close to the drill tracks, so sometimes it is kind of hard to tell you where you've been and where you haven't been. If you go too tight, the tires will come around and hook on those sway bars on the tongue, so just watch that. You good?
Not very straight.
One thing about it, you don't realize how much racket that mulcher makes until you're standing behind it. You gotta... What are you doing? She'll figure it out. You gotta. There you go. Gotta learn somehow. And we're gonna have to stop her for a minute. She's getting wide in a few places. But that's okay, because now I got a really good spot where you can see the difference between hit and not hit, so that I can show her what to look for. There's you got this strip here, and then there's a small one over here. But and that's okay. We got to have a teaching moment. She's actually good at running equipment. Her biggest problem is we just need to get her confidence level up so that she's not so nervous about it. Once we get past that, she'll be all right. Get off if you put the steering wheel out.
What?
It makes it easier to get off if you put the steering wheel out. True. You're getting wide in a couple places. You got this one here, and then there's that skinny one there.
I see that. I'm not perfect at it.
You'll get there. It is hard to see the difference between that and the drill, so. But you'll have to go back and get that one and get that one.
I noticed.
And then there was a couple short ones back over the hill where you kind of
You remember that video I showed you where it was like, that would be me. That would be me.
That was all I had for you. But I figure this way, since you got to pass out both sides, it makes it easier for you to see what to look for. She's also bad at when she goes to put it in gear, she'll throw it up through neutral instead of actually putting it into the gear. We gotta work on that too. All right, wagon's empty, which I expected. I should need, because at 140,000 plants per acre, or you know, seeds per acre, plants per acre, whatever, that's a bag per acre. So by all rights, I need 20 bags, give or take a bag, to plant this back half. I can't remember if I got 16 or 15 sitting on the pallet, and there's probably 6 or so ish in the box or in the drill, so it'll be close. I just texted Jacob Wyckoff to see if anybody be around tomorrow in case I got to go pick a bag or two up just to finish. But I was half tempted, since Dad's far enough ahead, to get working on this piece, but there's enough stuff once you start getting that way on where the ground starts to change. There's enough that needs to be hit twice, especially along the edges where I want to put endro, or where endros and stuff go. It just let it get hit twice. Dad's making really damn good headway. I never get to hear that 150 from the outside because I'm always the one running it, and you don't realize how loud that thing is. I mean, it's loud in the cab because you don't have all the cab kit's non-existent, but at least you can hear yourself talk in the cab, or hear yourself think in the cab. Out here, damn, that thing's loud. I think Shelly found the 3-speed lever. It looks like she's moving a little faster, except she forgot to set it down. I think, yeah, she forgot to set it down. She'll get there. Like I say, this is a good thing for her to learn on, because you can't really screw this up. You're either going to overlap or not. You're either going to overlap a little too much or get some skips you got to go back and clean up. It's not like you're planting or working ground or anything important. You're just going back and forth, rolling the ground back down. So it just takes time, and like I say, we just need to get her confidence built up to where she's not so scared of it. And part of the problem is I don't want to just send her to a field and turn her loose and then walk away and not be there if she does run into an issue. And usually if I need her help, that means that I need to be somewhere else doing other things, which is why I need help. So it's hard for me to be able to teach her and, you know, be around to help if need be, because I got to be doing other things, which makes it difficult. But that's where a field like this is perfect, because there's plenty of room. I'm generally going to be here. There's nothing to worry about hitting or going around or anything. She can just go and get after it. So anyhow, I'm going to get the bean wagon hooked up, because it can go home, and we will see where things land, I guess. How things, or what happens after this, is really going to be dependent on what this rain decides to do. Alright, I ran the bean wagon back home. Shelly's just finishing up her end rows on this front field, and then it'll be planted and rolled in the whole 9 yards. Dad's probably got 1 acre, 2 acres left back here, and then this field will be done for the time being. I think we're gonna once he's done, I think we're gonna call it a day. Let this sit. Oops, whoops. We got some good chances of rain. They took 5 o'clock out, but we still got some decent chances of rain between 6 and 8. So not that means anything as far as getting this planted, but as you can see, I don't know if you were paying attention when I was walking over here, you get that sand stuff. Beautiful, would probably plant right now. The further you get this way, the ground gets a little bit more moisture in it, and soil type changes. It starts getting chunky. I really don't want to plant it like this. I have planted it like this in the past, and it didn't work out in my favor, mostly because I didn't have much choice on the matter. at the time. It's also why I don't like, especially this field in particular, I do not like spring chiseling it if I can avoid it. But we'll let Dad finish up the little bit that he's got going on back here and shut it down for the day and let this sit overnight and dry out. If it gets sprinkled on, so be it. Not gonna hurt much. And that's a rock. And we'll let it get a little sun in the morning and try to get over here like 9:30 and hit it again. Just so that it plants nicer. It's the last field, might as well do it right. So another big one right down here. I don't know if I can get this one one-handed or not. That's a negative. So I do believe when he comes around, I'll get one more shot of him running, and then that'll be it for today, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow when we can get finished up. Alright, see if we can get finished up here today. I was already over here this morning and ran the finisher over that one more time. It made a big difference. The rain we had last night didn't really amount to anything. It was basically heavy sprinkles. Just enough to basically knock the dust down, although it did make the beams up here in this front field swell up. So but I just went right from my house to here this morning and didn't have the camera with me, and so I just got in the tractor and went after it. Had it done in a little less than 2 hours, so be a hang up, because if I run short on beans, which is also gonna throw a wrench into things, because I still have that little freaking food plot thing I gotta put in for one of my landlords. So if I don't have enough beans to do it, that kind of throws a wrench into that, but there's still corn in the planter, so he might just get some corn instead. And it's just a deer plot. It ain't like it's got to make it all the way to maturity. This really makes you miss an auger wagon. All right, drill's full. Still got 10 bags in the truck. Should need about 20. Here's hoping. If I get down to the last little bit and it looks like I'm gonna run short, I'll just drop a gear on it. If it looks like I'm just going to run like a bag or something short, I'll just drop a gear on the drill and try to stretch it. So, anyhow, let's see if we can get done. Dad showed up and started rolling because Shelly had stuff she had to do today. He probably should have waited another half hour or so to give me a little more time to get ahead of him, but this is some sort of weird physics I have never been able, it's not the first time this has happened, and I haven't been able to figure out how or why it happens. It eats, the untreated beans get planted before the treated beans, even though they were on top of the treated beans. I will never understand how or why. But I got my 4 rounds all the way around the outside. I got all the long rows done up to the waterway, which 4 rounds around the outside of this piece plus the 4 rounds around the waterway is damn near, I think it's like 3 3/4 or 4 acres on their own. So but I'm gonna refill the drill so that I don't have to keep checking it, because that end one was just about out, and we will keep on keeping on, and hopefully these last 10 bags will get us through. Well, I've probably got about 4 acres left back there, and there might be 4 bags in here. That side, the 2 chambers on that side are a little lower than this, but I don't want to have to keep playing the game of shuffling or moving seed around in there, and I don't want to get any later and then come to find out I still need a bag to finish up an acre and have to be doing all this in the dark. So I'm gonna run down. Jacob Wyckoff's already waiting on me down there. I just texted him, so I'm gonna run down and grab a few more bags of seed just so I got them, and then I'll return what I don't use. So we'll be back in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, that wasn't a bad little trip. It's kind of nice to get out and see how everybody else in other parts of the country's doing. It's crazy. You go down there and you got corn that's knee-high, side dress, deep dark green, looking good, and then you go a mile down the road where the soil changes a little bit and you got stuff that looks like it's only been planted in the last week or so. You got stuff up here that's kind of like that, but not quite drastic. There's not really corn around here that's knee-high yet. But and Jacob said that they got all their seed corn in, all their split plants are, or all their split males are in. They just have a couple fields of their commercial stuff to get planted yet. They were hoping to finish up within the next couple days, and then they'll be done. So guys are finishing up, but man, is it slow coming. Also, just driving around looking at things, it was not a good year to be a no-till soybean. And even Jacob said on some of their stuff they try to no-till, population is just terrible. And most of the fields I was seeing driving on my way down there were a real nice shade of kind of lime green, not very healthy looking. The no-till corn didn't look, I mean, the no-till corn definitely does not look as good as the corn that had some kind of tillage done in front of it, but the no-till bean, they should grow out of it, but man, So anyhow, I'm gonna throw one more bag in here to kind of even it out, and then we'll throw a couple bags in the hopper. All this scrap in here was stuff that I found in this field. The only thing in here that wasn't from this field was that green fence post. Everything else is from here. And then I got rocks that I forgot were in here that I told Shelly I would take for her. So I'm gonna throw them in the truck. So let me get situated here and we'll go finish up. I got 45 minutes left or less. having to use basically 2 bags of what I went and got. So Dad's got just this little dog leg here left to roll, and then the back end rows, and it'll be all rolled. So the only thing I got left to do as far as planting is those 2 wet spots at Grandma and Grandpa's that I didn't get corn planted in. I want to try to throw some beans in there just to keep the weeds down, and then I got that little food plot thing that I got to do for a landlord that I should have just told him no. But you don't want to tell a landlord no, because that might affect how the field situation is. So but anyhow, get things packed up here and call her a day. So thank God that's over. It only took until, what day is it? June 9th. I'm pretty sure this is the latest I've ever had to plant. I don't think I've ever planted past this. I think up to this point, the latest I might have ever had to plant was June 2nd. To finish up some beans a couple years ago. I know last year I think I finished up everything on May 29th, I think. But then we didn't get any rain, and nothing, most of the last stuff planted didn't come out until the come out of the ground until the 3rd week of June anyhow. So every year's a little different, and every year's kind of the same. Wait for Dad to make one more pass here, and then we'll end the video. And with that, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.